What's up, party people, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a foundation review and wear test over a brand new foundation. This is the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop foundation. So what's so amazing about this product is that it has 45 shades. So I'm gonna post a picture over here of just a picture of the swatches, like the shade range from the Ulta website. But as you can see, it runs super light to super dark and every undertone in between. Like, this is the best shade range I've seen from pretty much anything. So this is $14.99 on the Ulta website. They do have a buy one get one half off sale all the time. That's when I got mine. So I do have oily skin. Let's just get that out of the way. I have oily, acne prone skin. I do have some breakouts right now. I have this little volcano up here that just keeps erupting and won't go away. So we got that to deal with. I've got some unevenness, a little bit of redness. Just not the most perfect skin right now. My skin was doing really good up until last week when I started a new skincare product. I started 2 new skincare products and my skin's just been like purging. But it says lightweight, waterproof, and pigmented AF. This foundation hustles as hard as you do. This comfy liquid formula comes in 45 flattering tones that don't transfer. Every creamy shade glides on smooth, delivering matte coverage and color that stays true for up to 24 hours. This little overachiever also works to control shine and mattify your complexion all day long. Non-comedogenic and suitable for normal, oily, combination, and sensitive skin types. So I do want to highlight that this will not be good for dry skin, and I do appreciate the fact that they don't try to lie and claim that's going to be good for all skin types like most foundations do, because that's just not the case. This will not work for dry skin, just point blank. It comes in a pump, really nice little glass jar, and you do get 1 fluid ounce of product, which is standard. So I did pick up 2 different shades. I picked up Warm Vanilla. I will go ahead and swatch these for you guys. And the pump is really, really nice on these. Like, this feels like a high-end foundation. So there is Warm Vanilla. This is a little bit too light for me. I should probably read what they say about each one, like their description. So they call Warm Vanilla a light with golden warm undertone. So I feel like that's the perfect description for that. This will probably be perfect for me in the winter when I don't have a tan. I'm gradually losing any resemblance of summer. And then nude is actually my perfect match. So they call this one a light with neutral undertones. There is a slight bit of warmth to it, I feel like. So there's nude and there's Warm Vanilla, but it definitely is more neutral. So I've already moisturized and primed and we are ready to go. So I've been testing this foundation out for a little over a week now, and I've really put it through the ringer. I've really tried to do thorough testing with it before I sat down to review it, and I've been out in the sun with it, I've been out in the heat, I've worked out, I've sweat in it, but it's really thick. So there's what it looks like. It does oxidize a tad bit. I find that most really like pigmented full coverage foundations that are matte do tend to oxidize a little bit, but it's not that bad. It doesn't change colors a whole lot on my skin. And I'm just gonna start back in the area where I have more to cover up. I can still see my bumps right here just a little bit. It's not the fullest of full coverages, so I am gonna build up just a little bit right there. A little bit doesn't go a super long way if you want full coverage. I will say that. I do have to use several pumps with each application, but I also have a pretty big face. So this foundation sets to a legit powder finish, and I have oily skin. I've never used a foundation and not set it, ever. Like, even with matte foundations that do set to more of a powder finish, I still feel tacky areas in some places, and I'm always worried of having blending issues when it comes to the powder products on top of the foundation, like blush, bronzer, stuff like that. But with this, it's truly a powder finish foundation. I do not have to set this. I will set under my eyes just to avoid creasing because of the concealer, and I may set around my nose or something, but when you touch your fingers to your skin, you don't have any transfer. I mean, it is completely set, so I feel like that's awesome. But there's what that little volcano looks like. There's what the coverage looks like on it. You can still kind of see it. It did cover up a lot of it, but I feel like that's just the nature of what it is. It's just gonna be hard to cover. I'm just gonna build this up a little bit. And you can see where the first layer had time to dry, the second layer really adheres, and just that pigment really wants to stick. So that's a good thing. So I'm gonna go back up here and try to layer up the coverage a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits and give you guys a time. So this 1:25. We're just gonna say 1:30 for our check-in time, and this will be at least an 8-hour wear test day. I have worn this for 11 hours and I think 12 hours before. Alright guys, so I'm back with under eye concealer and a little bit of setting powder. I just set under my eyes, so I just came out, I brought it down in a triangle and just kind of brought it out to my hairline. I hit the sides of my nose where I'll be wearing glasses later, and that's where they sit, like the little dents usually go there. And then I set around the crevices of my nose, my upper lip, because I usually get a little sweaty, and then just like dabbed on my chin. But I didn't set my forehead, my cheek area, nothing else. And this sets within minutes. Like, I can touch my face now and there is no transfer. It feels completely dry, no tacky areas. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how the cheek products apply because I feel like that is pretty important considering I don't usually skip out on setting powder. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with some bronzer. This is a Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. If you're wondering what I'm wearing on my eyes, this is from my Part 3 Morphe Jaclyn Hill Vault Collection review, so I will have that linked. It does blend out pretty well. I mean, it blends as if a setting powder was used. Sometimes, like with certain products, I do have a little bit of drag and a little bit of pulling. Like it seems like the pigment likes to stick to certain areas and not blend out completely perfect. But for the most part, I have no issues. And then for blush, I'm gonna mix a couple together. I'm gonna use Milani Luminoso mixed with Makeup Geek Romance. So again, not having any blending issues. Sometimes I have had issues with cream products applying on top of the foundation where it does seem like there's a setting powder already applied. Now let's talk about longevity because that's where I see most of the issues with this foundation. So you would think where it claims to be 24-hour wear, it's full coverage, it's matte finish, it sets to a powder finish, it sets beautifully. You would think that it would be super long wearing, really good for oily skin, really good for the summertime. It would hold up all day long, but sadly, it doesn't. Like I said, I have tested this out in the sun. I've been outside all day where I was wearing sunglasses and I was sweating. I helped someone move in this foundation and I was, you know, really sweating hardcore. I've worked out in it. And I do want to point out, I do have oily skin, but typically I don't get greasy or shiny throughout the day. Like usually I don't have an oil production problem. But with this foundation, it just wears away. It starts moving around and just smearing in my T-zone and on my nose area. And the other day when I was wearing sunglasses outside and it was really hot and I was sweating and stuff, when I took my sunglasses off, I had a big ring around my eye area where the sunglasses were setting, and also it dents really bad. Like wherever your sunglasses sit on your nose, it leaves a huge impression on here, so it just picks up the product. And also I will say you can just kind of pat it out with your finger. I did notice that if I just patted it out with my finger and sprayed a setting spray on, it did help with the cakey look and like the budging of the foundation where it just looked kind of smeary and picked up. But I'm the type of person that applies my makeup one time a day. I don't really look in a mirror throughout the day. I don't do touch-ups. Like I don't like a product that I have to worry about throughout the day. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here and go about my day. I will come back at the end of the night and show you how it held up. Alrighty guys, it is time to bring this review to a close. It is now 10:55 at night, so we're going on 9.5 hours. So here's what it looks like after a pretty normal mild day. I do want to point out that I didn't work out, I didn't go outside, so there was no sweating, there was no excessive oil production, so this was a pretty mild wear test day. Yeah, basically the biggest problems I see are in my T-zone, mostly around my nose and like inner cheek area, a little bit on my forehead, and the cheek products didn't wear the best. But I will say as far as how it feels to the touch, it feels completely mattified. It still feels like a powder finish. Now I will say it does feel kind of tight in certain areas, like it not necessarily dry, just kind of like I imagine it's how Botox would feel. It just feels a little like, it started feeling like that about around the 3 or 4 hour mark. So I know I mentioned earlier that if you have dry skin, you probably don't want to wear this foundation, but like I don't have dry skin and this tends to find dry patches on my face, even right through here. Like I don't know what it is, but right through here with this foundation, I always get kind of dry and powdery looking. It just doesn't look all that good. Like it makes my skin look kind of scaly and kind of old. So if you have any kind of texture, if you have really active breakouts like blemishes like this that do have a little texture on them where this is kind of scabbed over, it will definitely emphasize those. So I would say for me, it holds up for a good like 8 hours. Anything after that, or if I plan on sweating or being out in the sun or, you know, anything that would, you know, call for a more strenuous day, I'll definitely opt out for this one and go for something else. I have to constantly worry about, okay, you know, is it around my nose still? Are we good? Are we bunching up? But it's so weird because it's transfer resistant. Like when you touch it, it goes nowhere. It's kind of trippy. See, it's hard for me to figure out who it's going to be good for because oily skin, you know, people that are way more oily than me are going to have an issue with it bunching up and, you know, basically product lift off. If you have dry skin, just stay away. So maybe normal or combination skin. But even with combination skin, you know, if you have any kind of dryness, it may cling to that. So it's kind of tricky. Let me know if you've tried this foundation and let me know what your thoughts are about it below and what skin type you have, what issues you've had with it, if you have had any issues. And if I have any updates, I will leave them in the description box below if I have any before I post this video. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell to be notified of all of my videos so that you never miss one. And when you do that, comment below #partypeople to let me know that you're part of my Party People squad. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Mwah.